Pleasant Hill at JT's Miners and Red Worms truck, kind of a semi-famous little local spot. People come and get pictures, but it is private property. Posted no trespassing, but I can use it as a backdrop to talk about this, my Genuine Rattler, and that's Rattler 200i. I have a review video on this, one of the only ones on YouTube where it's not a dealer trying to sell you the bike. I give you my full opinions. I recommend you go watch that. For today, though, a little bit of a celebration. I just crossed a milestone on this, 1,000 miles, 1,001.5 to be exact. So I thought I would celebrate by answering the top 5 questions that I have received about the bike since that review. They're pretty good ones, though a couple of them I did cover in the review. So let's get going. Genuine Rattler 200i, top 5 questions, starting with the number 1, but these are really in no particular order, though I did get asked this one more often than any. The top speed, a curious question, because I covered that topic in my review video. The top speed on this bike, Genuine rates this at 60 miles per hour. And I can tell you, after having it now for 1,000 miles, that's pretty accurate. Very accurate, in fact. It will zip right up to 60, and you can milk up to about 67 miles per hour if you give a lean and you're on super flat ground and you have enough time. But really usable top speed is 60 up to about 63 pretty easy. And then it's just a mile per hour here, a mile per hour there, maybe up to 67 under the most ideal of circumstances. So say 60 to 63 is what you can pretty much bank on. But I think if you bank on 60 out of this little 200, technically a 200cc fuel-injected engine, you're going to be pretty happy. It is a good performer, especially for the money and the quality of this bike. That's why I bought it. Number 2, let's talk about gas mileage. Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff stuffed up in here. No, a full-face helmet will not fit. Gas mileage. This is a 1.6 roughly gallon tank, and there's a little bar in there, and I fill up right to that bar every time, and it's the same pump most of the time. I have had 11 logged fill-ups on this, and over those 11 logged fill-ups, I've actually had, I think, maybe 13 fill-ups, but one was the top off when I first got it, and one I accidentally cleared my trip meter, so I messed up the mileage there. But this is what I have received over 11 tanks. The average miles per gallon, Genuine claims 80 miles per gallon on this. I get 81.47 as my average, and that's over, again, 11 logged tanks. Now here's the interesting part. My low mileage out of all those 11 tanks was 76 on the nose, 76.00. The high was 91.09. But my last 4 tankfuls have been my highest miles per gallon. The 91.09, 83.64, 84.42, and 86.47. That's my last 4 fill-ups. So this is getting, what I'm going to lead into here on the engine, stronger and stronger and better. Now, one other thing on this gas mileage, that 91.9 miles per gallon, that had one thing going for it. That was with Shell V-Power gas. Normally, I run 93 octane non-ethanol, but I did try E10 Shell V-Power, and that got me 91.9 miles per gallon. So at some point, I'm going to try that again and see if that was just a fluke, or if in fact this does get better gas mileage with E10. So we'll see. It's fuel injected, so I could run it without worry if needed. And this is a good point to talk about the engine, which is number 3 on my list. It's getting stronger and stronger. Those last 4 tankfuls, better gas mileage, but also I get on this thing now. I don't really listen that much to it anymore. I've started trusting it that it's gonna work. It performs great. Seems to have a more robust throttle response every time I ride this. I'm really happy. I was worried. Well, you can't see it probably, but that says Longia. This is made in China. A Genuine made in China. I didn't know how that was going to all work out, but it's worked out well. And this exhaust, normally the exhaust 1,000 miles on a cheap Chinese bike, that would have came loose or fallen off by now. No problems with this. It was delivered to me well serviced. I had it serviced at 500 miles at a dealer. I haven't touched it it is working great. Though I will give it a 1,000-mile oil change here. I'll document that in another video. So I've no problems, no worries with the engine, and I did complain about a rattle sound. Found out that's the fuel injector. One guy has this exact same bike, and he said, yeah, I too have the rattle. It's the fuel injector. Had some other people with fuel injected scooters that chimed in as well. So that was the rattle. No worries. I am very happy with this engine. A great, great performer. Called a 200, technically 168.9 cc's. Basically, this is a 150 with a big bore kit and a fuel injector. That's how I look at it. But either way, I'm not worried with that Longia manufacturing. It's working well. Now let's talk about the brakes. This has hydraulic disc brakes front and rear. Many scooters, it's just a disc up front and they'll have a drum at the rear. No problem with that. But this one, disc front and rear, a dual piston caliper up front, just a single back here at the back. But I will say, these brakes, they bite. You can stop very well on this bike. Even the wave rotors front and rear, working well, working super well. But there's no anti-lock on this. No ABS. So if you're a person that depends on that, something to factor in. Personally, I prefer to be in full control myself. That's the rear brake. This is the front brake. And some people don't even use that, but it should be most of your braking when you're at least slowing on a scooter, a motorcycle, or even a mountain bike. I have no problems with no ABS, but if you depend on that or you're a new rider, you could. These are very bitey. They will bite in quickly, so it's something to factor in. I thought I would share it. I had people ask about it. No, there is no ABS on the Genuine Rattler 200i. Stability. Had someone else that has, I think they have a 125 Rattler, and they mentioned that their bars shake at a certain mile per hour. No, mine don't. I don't have that. There are bar end weights on this for a reason. Some scooters have them. So much low slung weight, light front ends on scooters, it's easy for that to happen. However, I wouldn't accept that. This is a dealer bike. I would take it back to the dealer. I've had no shaking, no stability problems. Well, let me word this properly, because these are ADV tread tires, adventure bike, kind of on and off-road friendly tires, and they roar. So I'm going to kind of give an analogy here. Think about riding a street bicycle on the street, a commuter bike or a cruiser. You have street tires, they're a nice smooth roll. If you then get on a mountain bike with knobby tires, you get a roar, and you can feel that roar in the handlebars. It's not really a shake, but you feel the roar. These tires roar. And that roar, it's again, not a shake, not a wobble, but you can feel the roar just vibrating up through the bike. I mentioned in my review video that I would probably replace these with Pirelli Angels or something street tready once they're done. I do kind of like the roar a little bit, but you ride long enough on the street and comfort is number one. And they're probably not the most comfortable tires as far as street tires, but that doesn't mean they give me a shake at the bars. I would not accept that. So long story short, if you have a shake on your headset, you paid extra money to get a dealer brand. That's what Genuine is, a dealer brand bike. I would take it back to the dealer and I'll go, hey, what's up? So there we go. Stability for me, pretty good if you have stability problems. It's not a Rattler problem, it's a setup problem or something else going on. That's my 5 things, the 5 questions I've had about this Genuine Rattler, but I'm going to give you a bonus. I did mention made in China, talked about this in the review. I had questions about the creaking of plastics, cheap Chinese bikes. You press on them and there's just creaks and pops and all that. As you can see, I'm pressing hard and you can just hear my fingers squeaking on stuff. I'm rattling bars. I'm pushing down hard on these bars and not a single creak. Even look at that up here at the headset. Not a single noise comes out of this bike. That's the way I would expect it. If it creaked, I would not be happy. I don't accept that on any scooter that I would buy at a dealership. This one does not creak. I would think this was a Taiwan bike if I didn't know any better. So there you go, 5 things about the Genuine Rattler. The Genuine Rattler 200i from the Genuine Scooter Company. This one in silver. Silver there and silver there. They also make it in a red, which looks really good, but I wanted the silver. Oh, and by the way, these letters, they're holding up too. They're stuck on. I wondered about those, how they were gonna hang in there. So far, they're hanging in there too. So that's my 5 things, my 1,000 mile update. Stay tuned. The next video will probably be my 1,000 mile oil change, which I'm about to go do. Thanks for watching this video, and thanks for sticking around this long. I know some of you don't particularly like moped scooters or motorcycles, things like that. You're here for my traditional bike content or even e-bike content. Well, let me tell you, Genuine, they don't just make scooters, they don't just make motorcycles, they also have e-bikes now. And look at this, one was delivered to my door. It's currently in testing and filming. You'll be seeing it soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching KevCentral. Have a great day.